Hi guys, this is Mrs. Atwater. The purpose of this video that I'd like you to view today, Friday, September 9th, is to make sure you know how to get through a day's lesson. You'll have lessons posted, of course, every day, and within those lessons, there'll be some things that you'll have to complete before you come to class. Now, your class meets Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11:05, from 11:05 to 11:35. So there are a portion of these lessons that you'll have to get done before 11:05 in the morning, whether that means that you start to work on them the night before or making sure you have time before your classes start that morning. But the purpose of this video, like I said, is to make sure you know how to get through a day's lesson on your own before you come to class. So I am logged in. You should be able to see what is on my screen. I'm logged in as a student. And so from your page, you'll make sure you are in your cultural perspectives class. Okay, if you can see my cursor up there on the left. And once you click that, you should see Unit 1. Okay, so you'll click on Unit 1. We'll be in Unit 1 for a number of weeks. And then once we get to Unit 2, you'll see it over there on the side. But Unit 1, just for now, you see the welcome videos that you had to look at yesterday. If you have not looked at these videos, I recommend that you look at them, because it will give you the expectations for this class. It will tell you a little bit, some fun facts about me as your teacher, and it'll also get you acquainted with the reading labs, which we will eventually be getting into. So here's one video, here's the second one, and here are two more links that will send you outside of Blackboard so you can check out the reading labs. Make sure you watch those 4 videos. So you come down below this and you'll see Unit 1, Lesson 1. Okay, so just for an example, we'll go ahead and click on that link. And if you look over here, this list is an entire lesson for one day. Okay, now it's broken up into 3 separate sections. Learn, which everything under learn needs to be completed before you show up for class at 11:05 in the morning. Practice, everything under practice will be done in class, so you don't have to worry about doing that on your own, but it's there in case you'd like to go back to it. And then assess will be done after class. So I'm going to quickly go through each of these things and show you how to get through them. And as we go, keep in mind that this is actually your lesson for Monday. So this should look familiar to you when you actually go through yourself. So you'll see our little icon here for Learn. You'll always see that pop up for English class. It may look different in other classes, but for us, you'll see this keyboard with the letters that spell Learn. You'll come on over here to the right and you see an arrow. That arrow is going to be very useful to you because that is going to get you from one part of the lesson to the next. So we'll click on that arrow. And the first part of your lesson today is actually an assignment. Okay, so you come down here, it tells you a due date, which that should not say Friday, that should say Monday. So I will change that. And it tells you how many points it is. All right, 5 points. So here's the lesson here. It's the beginning of the year. I'm still getting to know you. So here are just 4 questions that will help me get to know you a little better. You'll scroll down, you click Write Submission. And here's the box where you're going to put your answers. Now, if you look up here, the first one is, I think reading is. So in this box, you'll type in, I think reading is, and then you'll actually fill in that sentence. Fun. Okay, and then you'll go down to number 2, so on and so forth. When you're all done that, you want to come down here and you want to click Submit. Now, for those of you who would rather do these assignments in a Google Doc or in Microsoft Word, you can do that, and then you'll have to just click Browse My Computer and upload it. But I think the easiest way to do this would be to just to write your answers right into the submission box. Come down here and you'll click submit. Now, it says up here that mine is not saved. It's only because I'm logged in as a student right now. Yours will be, it will be saved when you do that. Okay? You come back to this arrow that will lead you to the next page of your lesson. Now, if you look over here, we've been going down this list, right? We started with our title slide, learn. We went to your first assignment. And now we're at the next page, okay? This is a do now. This is not an assignment. This is just something that you are going to read through. All right, so one of our first assignments will be writing portrait poems, which are autobiographical poems. They're about you, they're by you, written by you. And so here are two examples. Example number 1, example number 2. You'll read those poems. For those who would rather listen and read along as I read them, I posted a video clip down at the bottom. It's just me reading the poems, and you can follow along if you'd like to do that. Okay, so that's the next page. We'll come back over here to your arrow on the right. And this is actually something else that you have to turn in. Like before, ignore that due date that should say Monday. I'll make sure to change that. This one is worth 10 points. And this slide is actually helping you to write that portrait poem that we looked at on the last slide. So all you'll do is just kind of fill in the endings of these phrases to make an autobiographical poem. Okay? Same as before, you'll hit write submission. You'll put your poem right in the submission box. If it's easiest, you can copy and paste from the top and put it in, or you can retype, however you want to do it. You'll scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll hit submit. And I got an alert there just because I hadn't written anything in my submission box, which is okay. We go to our next page. Okay, now we're at the practice session. The 3 pages that we just clicked through, explore what I have learned before, do now to prepare for something new, and explore something new. All 3 of those things are to be done ahead of time before you show up for class. This practice session, you don't necessarily have to look at this before class, okay? This section will be done in the classroom when you show up. So you can go to the next slide. My computer is thinking really slowly right now. So either you can click here, or if you like, you can come and click over here. Either one will work. All right, and so this is bringing us to the first slide of our in-class assignments. So once you're in class, I'll send you back over to Blackboard to answer your question of the day, which is right here. Again, you'll hit write submission, you'll place your answer in the submission box, and you will hit submit. Now, I didn't actually write anything, so the computer is saying, write something, okay? This next slide, again, this is in class. So this is the PowerPoint that we'll be using in class. Okay. Now this is here in case you want to go back later and look at what we've done in class. If you have some questions, if you forgot some stuff, this is here for you. And you can click through each slide. Okay. So this is actually some of what we'll be doing next week. All right. And then you'll keep going. This last big section, assess, is basically to measure, as you can see by our ruler, what you learned that day. Okay, so we'll continue to click through, and you can see we're almost done. We're on page 9 of 10. This elaborate on what we did in class. These are just some extra thoughts to kind of follow up with what we just practiced all together. Okay, so sometimes it may be something for you to respond to. Most times it'll just be some extra thoughts, but you'll read through that. Just some things to think about, and then for your last slide, evaluate what you learned in class. So with this one, you may have 1 or 2 questions to answer. This may be a quick recap with what we already talked about. In this particular slide for next week, you'll have to just go back and reread the poem that we read in class, and to replace a phrase in it with another phrase, and to think about how that changes the meaning of the poem. Okay. But if you look up here, that is page 10 of 10. You are all done, and that will be one day's lesson. Okay. So ideally, I'd like this lesson to take place on Monday. You complete the learn section. We do practice and assess. We do practice together, and then you do assess on your own after class. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday, and I'm really looking forward to receiving the 2 assignments that you have due in your learn section.